Abigail, listen to this. I've become pregnant!
Congratulations, Nora. So when are you expecting to have the baby?
Fall this year is what the doctor was saying. So around that time, I'm thinking of coming back home to Mom and Dad's house to have the baby.
Now that you mention it, your husband tends to go on a lot of business trips, right? I'm sure being back home with the family will make both you and your husband a lot more comfortable when you're close to having the baby.
That's what we were thinking. So for the sake of having me back home, would you mind leaving the house and making room for me? I would really like to be back at the parents' house without being all too stressed about anything.
What?
You happen to work at the hospital right now, correct?
That's right, but not as a nurse or anything. I just work in the office and at the front desk.
But as someone who is working at the front desk a lot of the time, you see the most sick people, right? You have to be in contact with all those sick and unhealthy people every single day, right? I wouldn't want to come back to a house where some dirty person who works with all those sick people is living.
Dirty person?
That's right. You seem like a really dirty person to me. Your whole body is probably covered in all kinds of germs, right?
My whole body?
This will be my first time having a baby, so I'm a bit worried about all those germs you have. And ever since I was a little girl, I've always been able to get sick really easily. So I really don't want to be around those that don't take care of themselves well enough. If there were ever to be something bad that happened to myself or my baby because of you, would you really be able to take responsibility for all of that? I'm sure you wouldn't want that on your shoulders, right?
I happen to work in the offices primarily, so I don't see all too many of sick patients. And on the off chance I did come into contact with something bad, I make sure to clean my hands and face very thoroughly every day. There's also never been a moment where I've come home and gotten others sick due to a virus from work. So asking me to leave the house because I work in the hospital is a bit...
Huh? I'm not asking for your opinion on this. I'm just worried about having you in the house in general, and that gets me stressed out. If the pregnant woman is asking you to get out of the house, then your only choice is to leave.
Come on now, Nora.
You have been living with my parents this whole time, right? I'm sure that means you've been able to save up loads of money considering you don't have to pay to stay with them. So you can use that money to get yourself a place and be out of their house. Now get to it and start gathering your things in order to get out before I arrive.
Excuse me, Hazel. I have something to ask you about Nora. You heard about how she's pregnant now, right?
Ah, this is perfect timing, Abigail. I was just on the phone with Nora a second ago talking with her about how she's wanting to come back to the house. I was just wondering if you'd be on board with something like this. I'm sorry to ask you this, but would it be all right if she came home and had her baby here?
I don't mind something like that at all. This happens to be her parents' house after all, so she has a right to come back here. But before she comes back here, is it really okay for me to leave this house? I'm thinking that before she comes back here to have her baby, it would be best if I stopped living with you.
What? Why would you say something like that all of a sudden?
Actually, it seems that Nora is a bit upset about the kind of work that I do. I was just texting her a little bit ago about all of this. She seems to think that because I work for the hospital, I'm covered in all sorts of germs, and that's not making her feel safe. Because of that, she asked that I leave the house so that she could come home and not be worried.
Excuse me?
As of right now, I'd like to do as she's asked, considering she's the pregnant one here. So I'm just gonna stay quiet and leave this house for good, if that's all right with you.
You can't do something as sad as that. There's no reason for you to leave the house.
But in all honesty, the plan was only for me to stay here with you this year, right? The only reason I was requested to come and live with you is because your husband had that bad fall and you needed help around the house while he was being cared for. So we agreed that I'd stay for a year or until things started to settle down for you.
That's true.
And well, your husband ended up recovering a lot faster than we were expecting, right? He's doing so well that he no longer needs to go to the hospital or be cared for. I feel as though you both don't really need my help anymore, so this would be a perfect opportunity for my husband and I to leave now.
I understand all of that, but I don't want you guys to leave. We'd be lonely without you here. Of course, you helped us out quite a lot while living in our house with us, but I found that you were very fun and relaxing to have living here.
And this was all fun for me as well. Deep down, I was really hoping to continue living with you guys forever in this house.
What? Is that so?
But as of right now, Nora's the one who needs to be taken care of the most.
I get that, but you don't have to leave the house just because she's asking you to. Who cares that she's asking you to leave because you work at the hospital? I mean, if you've enjoyed living in our house as well, then there's really no reason you should have to leave. We have plenty of rooms in this house, so please stay with us some more. I want both you and our son to continue living here, please.
What? Are you sure that that's all right with you?
Of course. I'll talk with Nora about all of this. I'm sure she's just a bit too nervous at the moment since it's her first time being pregnant. So as long as all of this is fine with you, then you are more than welcome to keep living in our house.
Thank you so much, Hazel.
You've done a great job of making my mom join your team. I had to hear from my mom that she doesn't want you and my brother out of the house. What the hell do you have against me, Abigail? I guess I can't trust you anymore, can I?
What?
I'm sure you told my mom to say no to kicking you out of the house, right? Perhaps you bribed her in some way? I never thought that a woman in your position would do something so crazy.
Wait a second, please. What is going on right now?
Huh?
I'm sure you're upset right now because I'm not having to leave your parents' house, right? I already tried telling your mom about how we'd be leaving the house and the reasons for that. But she was the one that told us to stay. I never bribed her or anything like that to let us stay at the house any longer.
Then you must have been screaming and crying for her to say no to what I was asking until she finally gave in. Damn, I really hate myself for this. I never thought you'd turn out to be such a thorn in my back, Abigail. Although for the longest time now, I knew there was something off about you. The moment my dad needed help at home, both you and my brother barged into their house and set up camp there. I'm sure you're both there so that you can get all their money in the house from them when they pass away, right? I guess my hunch was right then, and there really has been something off about you.
Would you stop saying such crazy things like that about us? You also happen to be at fault for my husband and I having to come back to live with your mom and dad. So what makes you think you have the right to say things like that to me?
Huh? I'm also at fault for that?
When your dad had that bad fall and needed more people to come take care of him, you just kept on making excuses so that you never had to move back in with your parents or help your dad out. And then you just stopped talking to your mom and dad completely for a few months. That's why your brother and I ended up having to move back here and help take care of your mom and dad. Yet now you're going to start making the claim that we're only here for your parents' money? That's very screwed up of you, Nora.
I never ran away from them. At the time, I really did have a lot going on. I was thinking the moment things calmed down for me, I'd go see my mom and dad and help out.
But it's almost been 2 years now, and there's not been a single day where you've come to help us out. You've been that busy?
That's right, I have been that busy. I've been home taking care of my husband, who is always having to travel for work. But I never once thought that my dad would get better sooner than I would be able to get some free time. I had wanted to help him out so badly. I am happy he's doing better again, but I also feel a little left out.
The only reason he got better so soon is because your mom and I did so well supporting and caring for him.
Huh? Caring for him? All you did was go over to their house to live there. I'm sure the only caring you ever did there was when my mom yelled at you to get off your butt and help out.
What did you say?
Well, I'm sorry to say, but you're not allowed to sit around at my parents' house any longer. Starting now, I'm coming back to live with them before I give birth to my first baby. And then once I have my baby, it will be their first grandchild, and they'll never bother with you or my brother ever again. That will be the end of you trying to usurp the throne and take all my parents' money.
Huh?
There's no reason you should be able to live with your in-laws any longer. I honestly thought that the moment my dad got better and no longer needed any help, my mom would have kicked you out of there. Yet for some reason, you've become good friends with my mom. I was starting to get worried that you'd be able to live there with my parents forever. But as you'll see, I'll get my way and be able to live in that house with them because both my parents would rather have their actual daughter living with them. Especially when she's so cute and is about to give them a grandbaby. I'm just going to have to remind them of who I am compared to you is all.
Wait a second. Are you trying to tell me the real reason you're coming home to live with your parents is because you've been afraid of me living with your parents for the rest of their lives?
I'm not just afraid of you living with them forever, but you getting a hold of their money after they pass away. I'm sure you thought that by going to them while my dad was in trouble, they would feel indebted to you and would later give you their money, right? Well, I'm not going to allow that to happen. After having my cute little baby around them, they will notice who really deserves to inherit all their things. They will want to give all their money and everything to me after I show them a beautiful little grandchild.
Your brother and I have never cared about what we've been inheriting from your parents. We just moved in with your parents because your mom needed help taking care of your dad.
Well, they don't need your help anymore, so you should be fine leaving their house for good, right? However, you are continuing to use my mom against me by having her say no to kicking you both out, and that's pissing me off. You are just continuing to ignore what I tell you, even though I'm the one carrying a baby. Also that you can keep living with my parents and get everything from them. This is all because you want their money, their house, and everything else they'll leave in the will.
Why do you think that's the case?
Well, you guys are doing everything in order to stay in their house, and that's because all you can think about is my parents' money, right? However, I'm not letting you guys get anything from them. Not only will I be completely stressed out by having some dirty, germ-ridden woman living in the same house as me, but I'll be scared of whatever else you might end up doing to me. I want the money-stealing, parasitic, house-squatting witch to get out of that house right now. Then we'll be leaving this house as well. What? I never thought that the goal for you coming home to us pregnant would be that. You think that by showing us a cute little grandchild we'll give you all our money after we pass away? Who the hell would want to take care of some selfish little baby of a daughter like that while she gives birth to a child? If you really want to be in our house that badly before you give birth, then go right ahead and live there all by yourself. But while you're around, your father and I are going to leave the place and find somewhere else to stay. Your father and I? What? Is that really you, Mom? Why are you talking to me all of a sudden? That's because I'm here with my precious little Abigail right now. And as I've been here with her, she's looked so upset as she looked at her phone, typing away on it. I was worried about what was going on there, so I ran over and had a look for myself at what she was reading. What? And lo and behold, I had to see my daughter trying to kick my daughter-in-law out of my house once again. I've had enough of that rude behavior you love to cling on to. If that's how you're going to act at that age, then your father and I are leaving this house with Abigail as well. Enjoy supporting yourself in this empty house just before giving birth. Huh? I would never come back to your guys' house to be cared for if neither of you are going to even be there. You and Dad have to be there to care for this baby and I. Is that right? We have to care for our daughter, who never bothered to come back home and care for her father while he was injured? You can't help but run away from caring for others, but the moment you need help, you expect everyone to just stick around? We really messed up when we raised such a self-centered daughter, didn't we? About that. For a while now, your father and I have been suspicious of you, Nora. The moment you graduated high school, you just left the house without telling anyone. And when it came time for you to get married, you didn't tell any of your family and just went ahead and handed in the paperwork. When you suddenly came out of nowhere after all these years of avoiding us and asked to come home to have your baby, we knew something was up. And guess what? The only reason you want to come home and have us care for you while you're pregnant is so that you can get closer to our money. Your father and I are disheartened by that. Disinherited about what? Why would you feel that way about me? The only reason I brought up your guys' money was as a joke. A joke, all right? It was a way of trying to mess with Abigail a little bit, perhaps. So would you stop worrying about that? just look forward to me coming home and caring for me. I'm sure both you and Dad want to see your daughter and the grandchild she'll be giving you both, right? Nope, not at all. We don't ever want to meet either of you, nor even see you. We don't care anymore about some witch who thinks she could kick out two very important people in our family like you were doing. Huh? Abigail isn't a part of our family. She's just some stranger that your no-good son brought in. Why are you on her side still calling her important? Nora, the only stranger right now would be you. You got married to another man and took his name, giving up the place you once had here. What? Asking our daughter-in-law to leave our house when you're not even our daughter anymore is a bit ridiculous. Remember back when you got married? You told your father and I that you were with his family and would no longer need anything from us again, right? So please go and ask his parents to take care of you as you have that baby. That's... And when it comes to Abigail, she chose to be a part of our family here, so she is the most important person to us right now. She might not be related to us by blood, but she's married to our son, making her our daughter. We feel it's like we traded one daughter for another back when she married your brother. That's the reason why I love having her live here with us and will do anything for her. We've both done very well living in this house together, and she never seems to be upset by anything we do. But then there's you, who seems to think they can just barge back into our house after being away for so long and kick out our precious little girl. What is this? Why are you upset at me? I may have gotten married, but I'm still your guys' daughter. Well, we don't want a daughter that calls another part of the family parasites and tells them to leave. I want you to become well aware of just how much of an idiot you are after today. Abigail, I am so sorry about what happened with Nora yesterday.
Don't be sorry for that. Seeing you get that upset with her was more than enough. Also, hearing her talk about how much you think of me as your true daughter made me so happy. But what are we going to do from here on out? I really feel like it would be best if we stopped living with the both of you.
Well, about that, Abigail, you really don't have to leave the house. My husband and I will be the ones leaving instead.
What?
Oh, but that will only be for a little bit, you'll see. I talked with him about what to do after we had to tell Nora goodbye. And, well, we'd both love to get away for a bit to somewhere nice and warm. So we're thinking of getting a place down in Florida.
Florida?
My husband was talking to his work about how he'd like to retire soon. And after an hour of talking, they settled on him retiring next year with a pretty decent package. So, since we'll be getting a few more months before the official retirement date, we were thinking we'd take things easy. You know, get a breather or two in before the next big move. And, well, that led to us thinking a trip in Florida at a condo would be really nice.
That sounds like a wonderful plan. You both have done a lot in your life, and I feel like you deserve a couple months down there taking things slowly. I think you both made the perfect choice right here.
We had actually been thinking about this for a little bit now. With Nora trying to force her way back into the family, we thought it might be better to just move away for those few months to Florida so that we could avoid her.
I see.
But now that it seems she won't be a problem for us anymore, you can go ahead and enjoy our house while we have fun in the warm sun. This will also give you and our son some time to think about what the both of you want to do next.
Are you talking about us choosing whether or not we want to continue living with you both or getting our own place again?
That's right. If you'd like to stop living here in our house, then you'll have to prepare quite a few things in order to move out, right? You'll have to find a new home and get ready to pack all your things up. I think all that would go a lot more smoothly if my husband and I were out of the house for a while.
Thank you so much for thinking about the both of us as well, but the both of us would love to continue living with you guys. So you really don't need to worry about us any longer and can go enjoy the next few months you have in Florida.
What? So you both really want to continue living with us?
Of course we do. If anything, I should be the one asking you to continue letting us live in your house, right?
Oh, you don't have to ask me for that. I'm so happy to hear that from you. We'll be able to continue on with the life we've all been living here.
We'll be waiting for you two to come back home while you're out of the state. Now please enjoy that condo you both get, and take all the time you need to unwind.
What is going on here? Did my mom and dad really leave their house?
What?
I was thinking now was the time to forcefully get myself into that house and have them care for me and the baby. Yet after opening up the door, it really looks like they both got up and left this house for good. Hey, do you have any idea where they ran off to?
Your mom and dad are in Florida right now. To get away from you while you're going completely insane, they left town and went to spend some time on a condo there.
Huh? They're in Florida?
Your brother and I have also taken a few days off to come here with them, although we'll be coming back soon and getting back to work. Your parents, however, will be here for the next few months, taking it easy and avoiding you.
You guys are with them right now, then?
After they got here and found their condo, they invited us to come down as well. It's been a while since we've all gotten to spend time on vacation, so my husband and I packed our things and took off the next day. They're even paying for a whole trip here as a thank you for always being around them.
So you're all in Florida right now? I came all the way to this house to have my baby, though.
Well, thank God we left yesterday to make it here. Had we run into you before we were able to get to Florida, things would have been a lot more difficult for us.
What the hell? You come back here right now and take care of me. I don't even care about my mom and dad anymore. I want you here doing everything for me.
There's no way I can make it back there right now, and honestly, I don't want to. I'd rather not take care of someone who's sick like you are.
Shut the hell up. You really think you can turn away your sister-in-law like that? I will not let you talk to me like that again. Then what about your own mother telling you to F off? What? My cute little daughter is not going home for you, and she most definitely will not be caring for your lazy butt. You really are such a failed child. I guess you didn't learn a damn thing since the last time we talked. Why are you here again? Why are you always on her side? I told you already that everything about your money was all a joke. I just wanted to come home to you guys and have my baby. I just wanted for you and Dad to take good care of me and the baby once it's born. No matter what you try and say to me now, all I hear is you whining about how you want your parents' money and labor. But luckily, your father and I have made our choice. We will never be going back to do anything for you ever again. No way! Now, we have a boat to ride. I would really like that you stop getting in the way of my family's fun trip here in Florida.
I heard that after Hazel told Nora to F off, she ended up leaving her parents' house and going back to her own house. When she made it back there, her husband then recommended that she go stay with his parents instead. Then he wouldn't have to worry about her and could continue with his business trips. After that, he then took her with him back to his parents' house to drop her off before going back home. Nora never said anything against going to have the baby at his parents' house, and so she stayed there all the way up until after she gave birth. As for Hazel and her husband, they ended up sending a letter to Nora's husband's parents saying that they were thankful for taking on Nora like that. They also sent a box of treats from Florida as a way of showing just how thankful they really were. I'm not sure how Nora will take seeing her parents send her husband's parents a whole thing of snacks as thanks for taking care of her, but I'm sure someday we'll hear about the reaction. When it comes to my husband and myself, just a week after arriving down in Florida to spend time with his parents, we headed back home so that we could get back to work. At first, we were a bit worried to find out if Nora had left the house in a state of chaos after she went in there looking for her parents, but it was actually left pretty clean. That was unexpected for the both of us, considering Nora has always acted like a selfish child. But I suppose that final blow from Hazel really shut her down. Let's just hope that by the time Hazel and her husband are back there, Nora doesn't do anything else to us. Although that probably won't ever happen again since Nora's in-laws have her in their hands now.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hey, Tina, you there? You need to get home from the office right now. I'm about to go to a wedding, so hurry up.
Hold on a second, you're going to a wedding?
Yeah, I totally had no clue that Valerie was getting married today. But I just got a call from my parents and they were super pissed and asking where I was. They were asking why weren't we there at the wedding already.
Wait, I don't get it. I thought that Valerie's wedding was next month. I mean, that's what was written on the invitation we got at least.
I know. At least that's what I thought the invitation said anyways, but guess it was today this whole time. Anyways, just hurry back here so that I can drive us to the wedding venue. How soon do you think you can get back here?
I don't know. I have to ask my boss about this first, and then I'll be home as soon as I can. I think on the bus, though, it'll probably take me a whole hour before I can be back.
An hour. Got it. I got our clothes and everything ready here, so just please try and get back home as fast as you can.
I can't believe that my brother and his wife are really going to miss my wedding. It's just such a shame, really. I suppose we just didn't realize how little you two care about us. Oh, quit the act, Valerie. I don't know why you did it, but the invitation you sent us had the date as a month from now. But now we find out that you're actually getting married today? Why didn't you tell us sooner? I have to leave work early. Well, you should know that it wasn't any kind of accident. I gave the two of you the wrong date on purpose. Excuse me? Why would you do that? What's your problem? I'm just so glad that you passed along the wrong date to my brother so that he didn't go and ask my parents. You made it so easy for me. And now, without you two here, I feel like I can finally have the wedding I've always wanted. You're still not making any sense. Why did you tell Dean and I the wrong date? Why don't you want us there? Isn't it obvious? It's because I hate the two of you. You're always trying to act so young, but you're really not. What does that even mean? I don't get it. It doesn't matter. The real point is that today is all about me, and if I don't want people I hate to be at my wedding, then that should be fine. But I literally don't get what you mean about me not acting my age. I think I act pretty normal. Are you kidding me? Did you really just say that? You're in your 30s and you're still dressing like you just turned 20. You really think that you're fooling anyone at all with your young woman routine? You think you can still get away with wearing skirts? Sorry you didn't want to invite me to your wedding because I still wear skirts. Is that really what makes you think that I tried and act younger than I am? Well, duh, you think that an old hag like you should really be wearing things like that? Obviously, only women in their 20s should be wearing skirts. But I wish they could make it a law so that we could deal with rule breakers like you. I don't even think that's a rule for anyone. I think you just made that up. You really are just so cringy. Do you realize that? I mean, honestly, why would you even try wearing a skirt? But the worst part was when my future in-laws came over and you were in a skirt. They both said that you looked nice in it. But obviously I would look much nicer than you in a skirt. I really don't even know what to say to that. I just want to know why they gave you a compliment and not me. Why did they even bother coming over to my family's house if they weren't going to compliment me? Instead, they gave an old woman like you more compliments. Look, Valerie, I know that you and I don't really have a good history of getting along, but I think that you're taking things just a little too far with this, don't you? I don't think that I'm taking it nearly far enough. I'm only starting to get all this off my chest, but to be honest, I just can't stand you. You're always having so much fun talking to Josh's mom, but you're always leaving me out. You never invite me anywhere or even try to make conversation. Are you talking about the time I was helping Josh's mom in the kitchen? You know that she was getting ready to serve a bunch of guests, right? I was only helping her, but I can ask if you'd like to give a hand next time as well. I don't want to be stuck in the kitchen doing chores with you. I hate cooking. How do you not know this about me after all this time? Just because it's what you do to kiss up doesn't mean that I like it. And I hate that even though you can cook, you still have to pretend like you're younger than you really are. I hate it all. Well, Valerie, I really just don't know what to say to you then. You don't need to say anything. I'm just letting you know why neither of you are invited to my wedding. You can both just sit at home and wait for us to get back. And don't bother trying to get in. I'll have security throw you out the moment you step foot inside the venue. Dean, I am really so sorry about this, but I think that we weren't invited to the wedding because of me. I'm so sorry that you're having to deal with this because of me, though.
What do you mean? How was any of this your fault?
Well, I was talking to your brother's fiancé just now, and I think she really does hate me. She was talking about how she was upset because she thinks your mom likes me more than her. She was calling me names to make fun of my age, and she said she gave us the wrong date on purpose.
You kidding me? What's that problem?
Again, I really am so sorry about this. I never wanted you to get caught up in any of this.
Come on, you know that you shouldn't be apologizing for this. Besides, Val hates me too.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that when after my parents called me, I got a message from my younger brother Josh, and he was saying that since we're gonna miss it, he's finally gonna be the favorite son. I think you and I was set up.
You don't mean that, do you? Do you really think Josh would do this?
He's always had it out for me, if I'm being honest. He was always doted on as the youngest child by your parents, and he was so spoiled that our parents didn't even care when his grades started to slip. Then he didn't even go to college and still lives at home. I guess he's always been envious of me for working hard, going to a good school, and finding a job with a big company. I think this was his way of trying to get back at me for that. So it seems like this might have happened no matter what.
But that's awful. I know the three of you have your history, but to do something like this?
I know, but if they don't want us there, then let's just miss the wedding. Why bother going there when we're gonna be hated?
Yeah, I guess you're probably right about that. Seems like we don't have any other choice. Although I guess we should probably explain a bit about what happened to your parents later. Wow, I can't believe that you two actually didn't come to the wedding. You do know how pissed my parents are, right? You realize how bad it looks that Dean, the oldest son of the family, wasn't there for a big event like this, don't you? Well, if that's how people chose to read the situation, there's nothing we can do about it. But don't worry, we hope to clear this all up by explaining the truth to Dean's family. What good do you think that's going to do? You should know that we were talking to my parents and they said they'll let us move in with them. I know they've already asked you and Dean so many times, but that you've always turned them down. They were so happy when we said yes that Josh's mom actually cried. So now that we're taking over the duties to take care of them, there's not even a point to having Dean around. So then you're really going to go and move in with Josh's parents? Of course, I've already talked it over with Josh. He figured that after how expensive the wedding was and how much money our honeymoon is going to cost, this is a good way to save money for now. And since we're going to live with his parents, I'll finally get to prove that I'm the better wife than you. So then, you're doing this all just to try and impress your new in-laws, is that it? I just refuse to lose to an ugly old hag like you. I'm the younger, prettier wife, and I'll prove to my in-laws that I am more capable too. I really have no idea where this urge to compete with me even came from. I don't care what you think. Now that we've done this, it means that Josh's parents are going to provide for us forever. It all works out though, since Josh hates his own brother so much. I can't believe that you two would actually conspire to do something like this. But fine, if you two really hate us that much, then we get it. Maybe we should just not talk to each other anymore. That sounds perfect. We'd love to cut you both out of our lives, after you give us a wedding present, that is. Although since we've agreed that I don't have to see you again, you can just mail a check. Sound good? You're kidding me, right? You don't invite us to your wedding, tell us that you never want to see us again, and still expect a gift? Think of it as a fee to finally get rid of us forever. I think something like $5,000 should cover it. You want Dean and I to give you $5,000? You think that you can buy Josh and I off for cheap? Sure, we want to get rid of you two as well, but you still gotta pay. Besides, this is our wedding gift. Are you really too cheap to afford a measly $5,000? I can't even deal with you right now. I'm going to quit responding to these messages. Well, good riddance then, and tell Dean that he isn't allowed to talk to us either. Oh, that's just fine. Dean says good luck to you both. Especially you. He says he doubts you'll last a year living with his parents. Excuse me? What is that supposed to mean? You really have no idea what you've agreed to, do you? Anyways, have a nice life. Wait a second, you can't just say something creepy like that and then just run off. I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk, but I'm ready to put in some hard work to do this. Oh, you really don't even know the half of it, but I'll tell Dean about the $5,000. What the heck kind of house is this? We just got back from our honeymoon and it's already a disaster. Every day from sunup to sundown, Josh's mom is always nagging me to do some chore, correct some mistake I did doing another chore. Well, I wished you good luck, didn't I? But yeah, their mom is pretty traditional when it comes to living with a daughter-in-law. Traditional is one thing, but this is just too far. And I don't get it. I thought you and Hillary got along. I thought we would have gotten along if I moved in too, but she's always nagging me. Oh, I'm sure it looked like we did get along to someone watching us talk. But the fact of the matter is that I know exactly what you're going through. I hate having to go over to their house for events. What do you mean? I had no idea you felt that way. Of course, I'm always stuck inside the kitchen helping Hillary make this and that. And she never utters a word of thanks. She just takes it for granted that I'm supposed to be there helping her. You're kidding me. I didn't know any of that. In fact, I was always jealous of you. You just got to sit on the couch while we were in the kitchen. You never had to do anything. So when you said that you were going to be moving in with them, you have no idea how happy I was. Especially since now we won't have to keep sending them money every month. You were sending their parents money every month? That's right. We were sending them about $1,000 a month, basically. But then we got a call from Hillary and she told us about you two moving in. She said that she wouldn't need our money anymore and that we could stop sending it. So thanks for that too. So then, you were sending them $1,000 a month, but now you're not going to? Maybe you could give us that money instead, since Josh and I are moving in. Yeah, we could do that, especially since they're probably expecting you and Josh to cover all of their bills. Excuse me, cover their bills? Are you serious? Well, of course. Surely you've heard about why Dean and Josh didn't get along, right? Josh was always his parents' favorite and was spoiled with whatever he wanted. Dean, on the other hand, had to work really hard. But his efforts sent him to a good school and eventually landed him into a great job. Josh never liked how successful his older brother was, and so that's where the bad blood came from. Yes, of course I know about all of that, but I thought that it was Dean who was always looking down on Josh because he thought he was better. Ah, is that how Josh tells it? It is true that Dean makes a ton of money, and that is why his parents asked him to help. Of course, Josh was also the beneficiary of that since he was living with his parents. I suppose he probably didn't even know of the help his brother was giving, but now that you're both living there, you're going to find out. So thank you so much for making it so easy to finally cut ourselves off from Dean's family. But, I mean, this isn't what I had in mind when I agreed to move in. I know, isn't life funny like that sometimes? Anyways, I'm sure if you work hard, you'll worm your way into Hillary's heart. But, like I said, good luck with everything. Well, I just finished having a little chat with Valerie. I think she finally understands what she's gotten herself into. Of course, she wasn't happy to hear about it in the least.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to Josh right now about it too. When he heard about the money we'd been sending, he was so upset about it.
Yeah, I guess neither of them had any idea at all that we'd been doing that. But I guess they found out since telling your parents they were going to be moving in. Although I can see us getting sucked into even more drama, so what do you think about moving away, Dean?
Tino, I was just gonna ask you the same thing. I think this is the perfect chance to go to a new city, get new numbers, and start over. Then they can't ever find us and try asking for money again.
Perfect. I'm so happy we're on the same page with this. I guess I should probably go and find a real estate agent so we can start getting everything ready.
Great. And we can find some places to look at this weekend. This is gonna be great.
I can't take it anymore. I'm seriously at my limit. What kind of life is this? All I want to do is move out. Ah, shoot. Dean and I were so caught up in the move, we forgot to change our phone numbers. Move? What are you talking about? Did you and Dean move somewhere? That's right. We moved so we'd never be sucked into Dean's family drama again. And now that we have moved, we are never going to tell you to where. But that isn't fair. I want out of this life. Let me come and live with you guys. Josh and I can take your house and you can come and live with his parents. Yeah, that sounds like an awful deal, actually. Besides, I thought I made it clear we didn't want to live with his parents. We don't even want to have to deal with them, or you and Josh at all, for that matter. Dean's parents always made Josh their favorite, and that meant, well, Dean had to claw his way to where he is now. It was only after they realized Dean was making money that his parents asked for some. But you have no idea how expensive it is for all four of us. $1,000 extra a month could go a long way. Please, can't you help us out? Please, Hillary steals money out of my wallet instead of asking. She's always making me cook, even though she knows I'm bad at it. And she's always putting me down in front of Josh. Valerie, you can do this. I believe in you. I know it's tough, but at least at the end of it all, you'll be able to say that you know how to make a souffle and dust a house properly. Isn't that wonderful? Please, I don't want to have to do any of that. You have to come and rescue me. You have to get me out of here. I am begging you. Rescue you from what? You did this. You were the one who agreed to go and live with your husband's parents. Not only that, but you agreed to do so as a means to try and undercut Dean's as well as my own place in the family. You realize that, right? We don't owe you any kind of help, and you aren't going to be getting it. Anyways, it sounds to me like you have a lot of studying ahead of you, so good luck with that. After that, Dean and I went to the cell phone store and changed out our numbers so that Dean's family and Valerie could never, ever find us again. And after that, we didn't ever hear from them again. Though Dean would still hear from his dad through the family gossip pipeline and could tell that things weren't going too well at home. Apparently, Josh was not as reliable as Dean was for taking care of his parents, according to his parents. According to Dean, he heard that Josh had to finally go and try to find a real job, but could only find something that didn't pay very well. Apparently, even Dean's dad had to go back to part-time work to help contribute to the budget. As for Dean and I, we've been thoroughly enjoying our new life and fresh start. I haven't been anxious about needing to help my mother-in-law host an event, and Dean isn't constantly stressing about making sure he'll make enough to support his parents, too.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.